I was also making saved folders, like archives,
Mm-hmm.
of videos and things that I knew I needed when I was getting out of the surgery. So
Right.
videos like, you got this, keep on going. And then what I do is I design my For You page, like the search page on my
Mm-hmm.
social medias, for exactly like creating a whole entire vision board of what I wanted to see. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that didn't serve me that I didn't want to see, I went in and I clicked and I said, hide this or do not show. What's always helped me is that positive reminder. Don't chase,
Yeah.
attract, become that person.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget health is wealth because when you're in that spinal surgery,
Mm-hmm.
nothing matters except your health. Be a delusional optimism because if you aim massively, you might not
Yeah.
reach that, but you're going to be
Yeah.
further than where you were if you aimed here. And
Mm-hmm.
last but not least, God's armor. If you put on your faith and you
Yeah.
develop yourself, nothing's going to be able to stop you.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Your Lab Central. I'm joined with Zach today. Zach, would you like to tell our audience why they should be excited about our conversation today?
Absolutely. First off, thank you so much for having me on today for all the listeners as well. And yeah, I think it's pretty simple question that you got right there. Reason why you should listen to this conversation today is because this one conversation might be that one conversation that is the catalyst that changes your life, that changes the perspective
Mm-hmm.
of how you see yourself, of how you see your life as we go into talking about my journey specifically from being a very, very active young kid in sports to
Mm-hmm.
not even being able to move in a hospital bed because of a spinal surgery that I had, and the mindset shift that I had to have, along with the determination and the discipline that I had to have to
Yeah.
get back to where I am today. So if
Yeah.
that's able to inspire you,
Mhm.
the audience, and give you guys a shift of, oh my God, if someone else could do it, then I can do it, that's
Mhm.
exactly why you should listen.
So, for the audience itself, let's just cut to the chase and talk about how the your mindset changed in that life-changing moment that you had in the hospital.
Yeah, 100%. One of the biggest mindset shifts that I had in that moment is, I would say, with ego. And what I mean by that is I had a 40% spinal curvature in my back when I was growing up. So I had to go in for surgery. And going in
Okay.
for surgery, everyone's thinking, I'm going to beat the surgery, or at least that's what I was thinking at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
This surgery is not going to hold me back. People have 6 month recoveries, 12-month recoveries. I'm going to be done with this in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That was my ego. And then,
Right.
bam, the surgery happened and I got pulled back. And I
Right.
had to reshape my thinking, my mindset of, okay, this is day one, this is starting out. I need the discipline to be able to wake up each and every single day, put in those actions, whether I feel like it or not, whether I have that pain or not, and the
Mm-hmm.
determination to continue to keep moving forward each and every single day. So
Yeah.
the mindset that you need to have of believing in yourself that you're actually able to overcome any obstacle that you have no matter what it is, get creative, start thinking. That is a crucial mindset that I had to have, that I had to develop, that I didn't even know that I didn't have in that moment of surgery.
Yeah.
And I had to develop that continuously each and every single day. And let me tell you one more thing, it wasn't as easy as you would think.
Yeah.
Because, you know, okay, I'm just going to wake up. I'm going to take
Yeah.
another step because I had to relearn how to walk, how to
Mm-hmm.
run, how to
Yeah.
stand. I had no muscle. But then you start getting into the deeper parts of your belief, of your
Mm-hmm.
mindset of, is this really actually possible? Should I actually be doing this? What if I fail and everyone looks at me and next thing you know, I'm the laughing joke around town?
Yeah.
But you need to be able to go inside and develop yourself, your mentality
Mm-hmm.
of, okay, where are all these limiting beliefs coming from? How do I reshape those and then move forward in that process? It's so, so crucial. That one surgery, that one night in the hospital that I literally broke down myself looking up and just saying, I don't want to be here anymore. Just take me now. That's the one thing that broke me in order to rebuild me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. That moment of failure which you have, or the breakdown which you have, is probably the only moment where you either sink in or you just rise up from the ashes like a phoenix.
Yeah.
So, and the mentality of what if you fail and what if you succeed, it creates a lot of problem for a lot of people. So I get that truly. Now, this part where you have to cultivate, right? What got you that consistency is probably people would something that people would be interested in.
Yeah. So the consistency that I had each and every single day was a couple things. the biggest thing is number one was the desire to get better, the
Hmm.
desire to push through, and the desire, which is actually interesting, to use the story that I have now
Hmm.
of getting better to help other people. Because, see, I'll take you guys back really quick. When I was young,
Yeah.
I had, I would consider immense depression at times. I had massive anxiety. And the one thing that got me through that was hearing other people's stories of people like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Ed Milet, watching them on YouTube, hearing their story of
Mhm.
pain to power, and knowing that was one of the biggest desires, one of the biggest pushes that I had at that moment to stay consistent. Because I said, if I could stay consistent, if I could
Mhm.
work on myself and do this for myself,
Right.
imagine what I'd be able to do for other people. And
Hmm.
having that as the foundation
Yeah.
to continue moving, to continue moving forward each and every single day with the help of what I believe in God, the higher power, combined with, and this I think is the most important thing, your environment. And what I mean by environment is your friends, your family, and what you listen to and you look at, especially in social media. Because
Hmm.
if you're in the wrong environment with people telling you it's okay, take it easy, you're good where you are in the wrong ways, and it's
Yeah.
negative, you're gonna you're gonna hold yourself back and not want to push, especially when I was on the medication. This
Yes.
medication was so amazing because I got so numb. And then I had my father tell me,
Hmm.
I'm throwing it away.
Right.
You're going through this. Because I almost got addicted to it, which is funny. I've never done drugs in my life. I
Yeah.
almost got addicted. So having that environment of people that are loving
Yeah.
but willing to say, get up,
Hmm.
stretch. It hurts. We're here with you. Continue going and having those messages of this YouTube video, that YouTube video, that email, that text message of, you got it. I'm here
Yeah.
for you. Keep on pushing. That's what keeps you going. And that is what builds momentum. And the more momentum that you have in this process, whatever that journey is for you,
Hmm.
the better you're going to be because you won't be able to slow down as much. You won't be able to be driven back because any obstacle that you have, that
Hmm.
momentum, the small wins is going to
Yeah.
drive you, or at least it drove me through everything.
Hmm. That sounds interesting. I mean, it is interesting and it's inspiring as well, having that conducive environment where you're being uh, able to push yourself because everybody else has got your back, and then you do that across. Now, the environment itself, and the other question that I first had in my mind was about faith. What do you think that how important was faith in your journey?
That's a really great question. I think that it was the foundation to
Hmm.
this all. I grew up as a faithful boy, as a faithful man. I had my journey in and out of faith.
Yeah,
I'd say this surgery brought me back to my faith
right.
because I have this term that I use now, which is sometimes God breaks you
Hmm.
and takes everything away from you
Yeah.
just to bring you back closer to him. And I feel like you see that a lot, especially on social media when you look how people say, I lost everything and then I realized I wasn't focused on the right thing.
Hmm.
It's kind of like a little slap to the face. So for me, that foundation of faith each day, waking up, being able to say, okay, I might not be able to walk right now
Yeah.
or stand,
Hmm.
but if I'm alive right now, my faith, my foundations in God, there's a reason why I'm still up each and every single day. So
Yeah.
as long as I put my attention on that, and once I put my attention on that, it's funny how all the problems, all the anxieties, all the worries, all the issues in the world that I had at
Yeah.
that moment,
Hmm.
like smoke, like bam, they disappeared because I just had that overwhelming presence of faith of God in my life that okay, I can get through this.
Hmm.
I can keep on pushing, and as long as I keep my attention there, I feel like I'm in bliss.
Right. Now, you talked about social media in between. Were you using social media at that point of time, and what kind of content were you consuming at that point? Because right now, social media is filled with all kinds of content. If you keep on going scrolling, the algorithm will give you exactly what you're scrolling about, right? So, how difficult was it going from negative reels to positive reels or something of that sort?
Yeah, so I don't think I've ever talked about this actually in public, but I'll give you guys a little. uh little snippet, golden snippet of what I used to do. So I was on social media before that time, posting and both consuming.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell into that doom scroll.
Yeah.
And one of the things that leading up into the surgery that I was doing is number one, I was posting personally, building over a long period of time, over months, over years of my own brand of posting, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is how I develop myself
Mm-hmm.
physically, mentally, in business to build that. But I was also making saved folders like archives
Mm-hmm.
of videos and things that I knew I needed when I was getting out of the surgery. So if it
Right.
is, you got this, keep on going. And then what I do is I design my For You page, like the search page on my
Mm-hmm.
social medias, for exactly like creating a whole entire vision board of what I wanted to see. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that didn't serve me that I didn't want to see, I went in and I clicked and I said, hide this or do not show.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically cultivated my algorithm and what I wanted to see on a daily basis, unfollowed tons of different accounts that no longer served me.
Yeah.
And then I started documenting my journey coming out of that. So I basically, this is literally like identical framework of what I did. I curated my whole entire social media
Mm-hmm.
and environment of what I knew I needed. And then I started documenting the process. So number one, I was getting fed information in. What you
Yeah.
get in, you're able to give out.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a push and a pull. And
Right.
that's how I did it.
Now that sounds interesting. That's a strategy that probably a lot of people could use because right now, as soon as you see a negative post, if you like it, you're doomed, right? That's why it's called doom scroll. You just get into the
Mhm.
spiral and you're just spiraling down into that rabbit hole where you're just seeing even worse. It just keeps getting worse at some point, right? If you realize. Now, since you mentioned, let's talk about how you've been leveraging social media. I don't know how it was before, but right now I just checked. You've got an explosive
Yeah.
social media presence. So how is it working out for you?
Now, amazing.
Yeah.
This is actually very funny. I'd say I've been posting actively on social media for about 3 years.
Okay.
And when I first started, you have the motivation, like the uphill, right? Of like, oh my God, I love doing this. Everything's gonna work out.
Yeah.
And then you get to give it a couple months and it starts to fall down like this. And then you get
Hmm.
to this curve. And
Yeah.
this was the curve of where I kept on posting each day. You listen to people like Gary Vee online and they just say post, post, post. Same thing as
Yeah.
Mr. Beast. So whether the content was good or whether it was complete garbage and I hated the way I sound or looked, I
Yeah.
knew that it might provide people value. So I kept on posting. And here's the thing that I really think clicked.
Yeah.
I did it over a long period of time. I kept on improving the content, but the most important thing that I'd say is I was creative in the different styles. So I would try like 10 different styles.
Hmm.
Whatever hit after 30 days, I'd replicate that. Whatever
Yeah.
didn't work, I push that to the side.
Mhm.
And then one of the biggest things, which people might be going through this as well, because this was a personal challenge of mine as well.
Yeah.
My family's in the construction business.
Okay.
But one of the things that I didn't want to show was construction, although that was basically my identity. That's how my
Yeah.
family grew up. That's how I was raised.
Hmm.
The moment that I said, screw it, I don't care what people are going to say, and started posting content with my father
Yeah.
around that, overnight game change. Like people say, I guess it's not overnight because it was over 3 years of that period. But I
Hmm.
remember posting this one video before going on a plane ride,
Hmm.
and I get off of that plane. Next thing you know, this video is just taking off. Everyone loves
Right.
the style between my father and I. Everyone loves the content, all these other followers. And I am beyond grateful that I'm able to get to that point. And the way that I see that is some posts perform way better. For example, those content
Yeah.
around the construction performs amazing because not everyone knows about construction.
Yeah.
The content that I have about the inspiration, the mindset, the health
Hmm.
doesn't perform as well. However, I believe that the construction content that's bringing in the views and the following
Hmm.
is a platform, is a way, a vehicle in which I can get people's attention to
To
bring them
help.
closer
Yeah.
in to be able to learn about mindset and health for their own life.
Hmm. Now, why do you feel that? I mean, there are a lot of behavioral factors where people are actually enjoying construction videos more, and there's a certain mindset where I don't know. I used to work on a oil rig, so I was told that there are only a couple of things that a man can do without do the whole day sitting and doing nothing. One thing is watching fire burn, the other is water flowing, and the third is probably watching a person work, a man work,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Doing physical labor. So something of that sort, that some good activity is going on, there's something changing. Is it something like that, or why do you think people actually connected to the construction content?
I think it's because a combination of things. Number one, not everyone is in construction, but it's something that happens on a daily basis. So
Yeah,
being able to see people building something, the creation of it, it's like say you study X major in
yeah,
school or you're interested in X thing, but then you see someone in a completely different industry that you're interested in that you see it on a daily basis, but you don't really know about it. You're
yeah,
so intrigued about that. The
yeah.
second thing is I've literally not in school, but on my own, studied psychology for probably 2+ years
Mm-hmm.
of how the mind works, how people think. And I'm always trying to put myself when I make these videos,
Hmm.
not in my position, but in the position of the audience. So
Right.
I think one of the reasons that people love these videos is because the engaging style that I put behind these videos draws them in. And then seeing like a video that I just put out, someone told me the other day, my friend Jordan, he's like, this video is amazing. I love it. It's a video of a modern design at a
Hmm.
Tesla dealership of this glass that's sticking halfway out.
Hmm.
How people don't know how these buildings can be like this in the
Right.
city and still standing. And
Hmm.
being able to hear how that happens because you just see it, I personally, to me, it's so engaging. It's so interesting because it's like, I didn't know that, and I didn't know that. But now I do. Oh my gosh, I want to send this to my friend because he's in that same industry. He's
Yeah.
interested in the same thing. Let me save this for later so I could show people when I'm at lunch with them or when I'm in public with them. Hey guys, check this out. I bet you didn't know about it. And now look, status, I just shared it with you.
Now, that's one very beautiful way in which people share videos, and then uh, the fact that we send reels or any video over WhatsApp or on Instagram
Yeah.
just to a group of friends, and then these are tidbits and these are ways in which we tell people that yeah, we care about them, and that's how these videos go viral, and there are different ways in which they can go viral. Now, you talked about creating a funnel of sorts, okay, where you have your construction videos and videos with your father, and they become the pathway through which your audience gets introduced to your main content which you want to give to them.
Yeah.
Now, how are you trying to provide value through the specific videos, like health and the other ones?
Yeah. So I'm still working on this part specifically. So I feel like I've almost not mastered, but gotten very, very dialed in with construction. So for the
Hmm.
mindset and health piece, what I'm doing now is two things. I'm sharing my journey of what I'm doing on a daily basis, just showing it of
Yeah,
what I'm learning, number one. And then I'm also sharing the information that I learn. So kind of like voice face to face, like this,
yeah,
sharing it over that way, which
hmm,
is not as engaging unless you actually have that face, people know you, like some of
yeah,
these big stars that we know,
hmm,
versus being in a grocery store that I'm starting to make this content. No one's seen it yet, but
hmm,
it's behind the scenes. I'm making this content where I'm actually going in and sharing with people, hey, this is what I'm picking up
hmm,
to eat. This
yeah,
is exactly what the ingredients are. I'm not choosing this because of this ingredient. Or I'm going to the gym and I'm hitting this exercise and this exercise. Now, guys, this only takes 15 minutes, not an hour. So, really,
yeah,
there's no excuse for you to do that. And same thing with the mentality. Hey, guys, this is a challenge that I was facing a couple years ago or a couple months ago. This is what I've learned in my studies of how the
right.
mind works, of how the subconscious works, providing that information while showing them. So those are a couple different angles that I'm taking. And again, like I did before, seeing which one performs the best, which one correlates really, builds that
Yeah.
bridge together. And then I'm going to dive into that even more.
Now, did you ever try talking about your journey in the hospital itself? And did people take it positively? What was the response on that?
Yes, yeah. So I've actually talked about it more in person at events that I've been to
Okay.
versus online. But that is that it's funny you say that, funny you mention that. This is my next step
Mm-hmm.
moving forward in social media and online presence because I'm actually again I haven't told anyone this again,
Yeah.
but I'm creating a speech now, which is almost like a book or a movie, but a
Okay.
speech now in which I'm describing this journey.
Mm-hmm.
However, in person I've told many people and the support, the people who come up to me, it's actually emotionally overwhelming to me
Mm-hmm.
because so many people have had such a similar experience,
Right.
whatever journey that might be.
Yeah. Now, what's your journey been in the past 1 year as to how you're taking up things and what are the businesses that you're running?
Yeah.
How's it going?
So in the past year, I've it's felt like a hurricane almost, like a storm at sea. I
Mm-hmm.
basically had many things going on,
Yeah.
which I've realized in the past that I've done that because I wanted to feel so fulfilled and try to make so much impact. But sometimes
Yeah.
when you do so many things at once starting out,
Mhm.
all of them begin to crumble.
Right.
So I've made it a goal of mine to put things on pause and other things to completely stop in its entirely at the moment. So what I'm working on now is a second branch to what my father has is the commercial construction.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of me building, now I'm teaching other people in the trade, such as my friends who just started, how to
Mm-hmm.
actually start and scale their own companies,
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing. And then the second thing that I have on top of that is a apparel brand that I'm building out currently that
Mm-hmm.
it's called Perspective, and it's all about that journey that I had
Yeah.
about your mindset and your perspective on life instead of seeing things negatively, seeing things as a positive reminder in the seasons of whether it's divorce, whether you're in school, whether
Mm-hmm.
you're unmotivated, whether you just had a breakup, anything. And I've been through, I'm going to say 90% of those things. What's always helped me is that positive reminder. Don't chase,
Yeah.
attract, become that person.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget health is wealth because when you're in that spinal surgery,
Mm-hmm.
nothing matters except your health. Be a delusional optimism because if you aim massively, you might not
Yeah.
reach that, but you're going to be
Yeah.
further than where you were if you aimed here. And
Mm-hmm.
last but not least, God's armor. If you put on your faith and you
Yeah.
develop yourself, nothing's going to be able to stop you. So that's one of the things that I'm focused on very, very heavily right now
Mm-hmm.
because I believe that although people say clothing is saturated, if
Yeah.
you have a definite purpose
Yeah.
and you're like, this thing is going to work, and you keep on hearing people saying, I love wearing this, it's
Mm-hmm.
a chain reaction. That to me is almost like God saying, take this and run. I'm with you.
Right. Now, there's a lot of things that you answered which I was about to ask you about. Okay, so you've caught me off guard right now. But then again, just a question as to for people who are out there who think that they've hit rock bottom, right? What is one tip of motivation that you can give them? Probably from your
I'd
own
say,
experience
yeah,
or somewhere.
yeah. I'd say, I actually heard this quote the other day, which I'm still trying to figure out if I believe it or not, what my thought is. But I heard someone say that there are many rock bottoms. So you could hit rock bottom here, but then there's another rock bottom, and then there's another rock bottom. But the good thing about rock bottom to me is that you're at rock bottom.
Hmm.
The only way up from now is up. So
Yeah.
what you do and what I've done is you say you hit rock bottom, it sucks. It hurts so bad. But now because you're broken, you have all of this perspective from the past to learn from,
Hmm.
to build upon,
Hmm.
and create a new you. So now instead of using this pain as trauma, you turn this pain into your power, which I've done, and you
Yeah.
continue each and every single day. I know it's so hard.
Mm.
Try not to focus on the losses, focus on the wins and not the big wins, the small wins. Okay, I woke up
Right.
today. Okay, I had this win. Okay, this person called me back. Okay, I was able to do XYZ, stack those And now each day, do what is hard. Do
Right.
what is hard. And to me, that was push-ups, that was getting in the gym, that was making calls, that was progressing on myself each and every single day. And slowly, you're going to start to progress from that rock bottom and gain momentum. And in that time of rock bottom, you need, again, that mindset, that
Yeah.
determination, that desire, that discipline to keep going. But you need a person by your side. I don't care whether it's someone on social media that you just watch every single day. Like if you go online and you watch Jacko
Yeah.
or Maxed Out, whoever it is, it could be that. Or it could be your friend,
Yeah.
your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad. Someone by your side who's in the fight with you. And in this moment, there's probably going to be times where people are looking at you because it happened to us,
Yeah.
happened to me, where people are like, this person's never coming back. There's no way. They are done. Everyone's going to be against you.
Hmm.
You don't need everyone to be with you. You
Yeah.
only need
I need one
yourself, your
person.
commitment to yourself, your environment, and God or that higher power, whatever you believe in, to be with you.
Mhm.
And you go to war each and every single day and you do not stop. And I promise you, I guarantee you, because I'm living proof of it,
Mhm.
me and my family, if you do
Yeah.
not stop, you're going to get out of that rock bottom. And then again, like I said before, that rock bottom is going to be the story that you go on to tell that's going to be like,
Yeah.
oh my God, if they did it, I can do it too. Do
Yeah.
not stop. Rock bottom is where you could plant the seed
Hmm.
for the tree, water it daily as you don't
Yeah.
see anything happen. And the next thing you know, you have a tree that lasts for thousands of years.
Right. Now, that's a great way to put it, because it sets the idea that, yeah, you can do it, and somebody has done it, you can do it too, and that kind of thing. Now, for somebody who's somewhere there, okay, not at rock bottom, they've made progress, they're doing good, and probably they feel that they're successful in what they're doing, something of that sort. So, what would you suggest them? Because you're probably at some
Yeah.
comfortable space where you're now saying that, yeah, now I'm ready to help people myself because I've somewhat achieved or probably achieved a lot, but I'm ready to help people. But then how do you keep going with that momentum?
Great question. Great question. I'd say, and I've seen a lot of people fall into this also
Yeah.
myself a little, where you're at that point where you're, okay, I'm getting out of here, but it's kind of like the comfortable position, right?
Yeah.
So for me, what's worked is being able to set new targets. So,
All
for
right. Yeah.
example, that target of you getting out of rock bottom, that was one thing here.
Mm-hmm.
You reached that now. So it's almost like Kevin Hart's comedy special, What Now? For me, my advice would be you got here now. But now what's the next thing that you can do? You're
Hmm.
grateful that you got here and you're
Yeah.
helping people. But now what's the next thing that's going to take you to here and be able to
Hmm.
make an even bigger impact? So it's kind of like climbing Mount Everest. You're at rock bottom. So you're at the beginning and it seems impossible. Then you reach here and you're like, okay, now I can start to teach people how I got to here, right? But this is only halfway up the mountain.
Yeah.
Now you need another reason, another goal, another target to get to the top, which is right here. And I don't think that I can tell other people what that target should be because you got to look internally for yourself where the answers come
Yeah.
from.
Hmm.
But what's worked for me is always creating those new targets, those new wins, and having that why behind it so you continue moving forward throughout that process. And always know that the goal is to hit those targets, but
Yeah.
also the goal is to continue to make new ones and see, I don't know if I could reach this,
Yeah.
but from here to here is the potential that you have that you don't know if you're able to meet yet.
Hmm.
But again, going from the expedition of this to this is that new target, is
Hmm.
that okay, I got here now, right? Like we just talked
Yeah.
about that comfortability. I got to go out and do exactly what I did to get here, which is get uncomfortable, do it again.
Okay. Okay, I'm out of questions right now. I don't have anything specific. But if you had to put a number to it, how many people do you think have you helped out? Let's remove social media because you have a sizable
Yeah,
social media presence.
that's a great question. That's a great question. I'd say and I have standards that are just out of this world crazy, but I'd probably say at least 50 to 70 right now, and it's probably more like 150, but my personality is to pull it back, is to not look at me, I did all this, but more so
Yeah.
kind of pull it back to say I'm gonna say 50 to 70, but my goal, to be honest with you, is
Mhm.
hundreds of millions, which it will happen in the future, but I say that number because of the people who have reached out to me, the friends who I have, and the
Mhm.
people who I know. So again, small stacking of wins, and each
Yeah.
person is another one that talks to the other person.
I like that idea, that earnestness of realizing that yeah, I've actually just helped so many people, because the satisfaction of saying, yeah, I've actually just helped two people is much better than showing off and saying that, yeah, I've reached out and helped so many hundreds of people. So I really appreciate
100%.
that. Now,
100%.
before we close, do you want to share some contact details where people can get in touch with you? Uh,
Absolutely. My main way to contact me, I'd say, is through Instagram. It's just my name, Zach Delmonico. I post basically all content there, videos, stories. You could message me
mhm.
on my Instagram specifically. I'm on TikTok and YouTube, but if you want to get in contact with me, talk with me, I am there mostly, and I'll get back to you guys. So yeah, Zach Delmonico on Instagram. Follow along the journey, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me in the DMs, and I'll get back to you guys. Whether it's voice note, video call, or text message, something, I got you.
Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Your Lab Central. To the audience and the listeners, yeah, if you have a question for Zach, you can personally reach out to him. If you have something to add to the conversation or you just loved it, do leave a comment, leave a like. And before you close the window, don't forget to subscribe to the channel itself. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Thanks, Zach.
100%.